Welcome, Bulldog TV fans, back to another edition of the Coach Adkins Show with our very own Coach Adkins. So we're going to get started. We're going to get right into it, Coach. Last week, big game on the road against Mount Zion. You had a battle on your hands for a little bit, but then something changed. The ground game kind of took over. Talk about your O-line. Talk about Luke Johnson's game. What switched in that game, and just give us a little bit of recap.
Yeah, absolutely. And we felt, I'll take you back to the second half of that Effingham week. We really felt like that's kind of where our ground game kind of started to come out of nowhere and do what we thought they were capable of doing. Again, we executed, we got off the ball, ran our feet, and felt really good about that second half and what Luke and our offensive line were able to do. And that carried over into this week, and again, going into the game plan, you never think that a game plan is going to be take the ball out of Wyatt Baum's hands. Why would you do that? And so that's why you notice in the first half we tried to sprinkle in some passing game here and there just to more or less keep them honest. Truly trying to hope them to get out of what they were playing in the secondary, but they insisted on staying with 5 and 6 DBs and gave us a light box, and so again we had to take advantage of that, and like you mentioned, extremely proud of our 5 guys up front and what they were able to do to some high-profile defensive linemen. Couple of those kids actually have multiple Division I offers, and like I told our kids, after the game, we don't have any offers on our team, and we showed it. We played with that edge, chip on our shoulder, so to speak, of the way we got off the ball and ran our feet and finished blocks. And then certainly the statistics that Luke was able to put up, it was an awesome sight to see. So like you mentioned, just proud of everybody that was involved, the 5 guys up front. Luke's running ability. Carter Selk had some awesome blocks for us out of the backfield in that H-back spot. And then our offensive staff. We didn't attempt a single pass in the second half. And like I told the newspaper, if you would tell me that Wyatt Baum is not going to throw a pass in the second half and we're going to score 49 points, I think I'd take it. But I would be absolutely shocked. And so again, I was proud of everybody involved in making those adjustments and then executing. That's what it came down to. So
yeah, it's really fun to watch that O-line, those new faces progress every week, and you just saw it come out last week. So that gives us a whole nother element, obviously, going into next week. And of course, I should say this week, tonight, we play Lincoln. Another road game, another Apollo matchup. Lincoln brings a little bit different look than I guess what the boys are maybe used to with that wing tee. Can you talk about what kind of challenges that you have with Lincoln at their place?
Yeah, we definitely have some challenges because, like you mentioned, it's a completely different style of football. Even the Effingham week with the tight end H-back set, we knew we were going to get lead and power and counter. This is a whole different version of double wing motion. They go jet motion, they go fly motion. They try to get it on the edge. They run some trap, some old school belly scheme, up inside. And so it's completely different than, like you said, what we're used to seeing and or what we'll see the entire rest of the year. So that in itself kind of poses some challenges just because it's brand new for our kids. And they have to stay disciplined on their rules and their reads. When they start watching the eye candy in the backfield, that's when they're going to hit you with a counter back the other way. So again, game plan wise, as long as we stay true to our jobs and our rules, I like our chances and I think we'll be fine. Some motivation that we've used to the kids this week as far as Lincoln's concerned. Number one, it's their homecoming. And I told the kids, I said, you know how you are when it's your homecoming. You have that little extra motivation, that little extra pump up in yourself. So I know they're going to come out to play, and they're going to play hard for as long as we let them. Like I said, due to it being their homecoming. Second off, statistically, they're the best defense in the conference. They're only averaging 8 points a ball game, and we're second with averaging 14 points a game. So again, just that motivation for our kids to still feel like we have something to prove. Talk about the rankings last week and then beating Mount Zion and 3-0 on the season, 2-0 in the conference. but yet we still have something to prove to people. And again, I think that right there just sets in a little differently with our kids. And so I know when we get on that bus tomorrow, or tonight, whenever we're seeing this, whenever they get on that bus, I know that they're going to be motivated and they're going to be ready to go for the challenge.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And obviously, Lincoln has become kind of a rival with Mahomet-Seymour in all sports as of lately with the basketball success, of course. I'll never forget last year when we had one heck of a day against Lincoln. So who can forget that? And speaking of rankings, you mentioned rankings. So last week we talked about, we dropped a spot to number 4, but things got right back to where we were. We're back to number 3 in the rankings. It seems like the press is more and more, I mean, we're definitely getting paid attention to, but it seems like that's building. It seems like more and more people want to talk to Coach. They want part of this program and see what the special sauce is, so to say. How are the kids handling the distractions? How do you kind of manage that?
That's a great question, because, again, going back to what we talked about last year, I think I look it up and research it and am more involved or informed, so to speak, with all that stuff than they are. I bet you could walk in our locker room now and pick 12 kids and ask them what we're ranked, and if they know, it's probably because they heard me say it. But I don't even think that they really care, if that makes sense. They know that they have to show up and go to work each and every Friday and Monday through Thursday, for that matter, and just keep doing what they're doing. Like I said, we have our own goals internally, and so those rankings truthfully don't really matter to the kids. And like I said, I don't even know that half of them even know what we're ranked, let alone if we are ranked. I certainly do, and I'm happy that we're back up into 3. Again, I want to see us keep climbing, like I know we are capable of, because, like you mentioned, kind of given that respect, or people are hearing about us or noticing about us. Again, Mount Zion's a great ball club. They were getting some votes, in Class 5A as well, and then for us to be able to put up on the scoreboard and ultimately do what we did to a team like that, again, I think is making some noise throughout the state, and like you mentioned, in this case, got us back up to the number 3 overall ranking. So. Yeah,
it's good to hear the boys don't really care too much, but it sure is fun for the parents and as adults, I guess. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, because when Chad and I go around, people always want to know more about some of these kids' personalities and some of the funny stories that happen, and you're with them a lot, obviously, this time of year and throughout the year, really. Do you have anything you could share maybe with some of the Bulldog TV viewers? Maybe something funny, kind of off football topic.
Yeah, I'll just tell everybody that every single day is something new and something funny and something, again, that just makes me love my job even more than I did the day before. And I mentioned to the newspaper, just about how great these kids are as a whole, freshman through senior. They're just an awesome group of kids to be around. And they do have a light side to them. Football is a very serious, grinding, mentally and physically challenging sport, and there's a lot that goes into it each and every single week. And so the fact that these kids continue to bring that fun element just makes it even that much more special, or that better, so to speak. And I could tell you stories for days, whether it's about bus rides we had this summer, or the guys in the locker room were watching YouTube videos, having a blast, seeing Coach Begner's highlights. I could seriously go on for days about these kids. But just one little quick one happened to be this morning. We're in our Thursday morning run through, and things are going well, and it's kind of quiet, it's 6:15 a.m. in the morning. Some kids are still waking up, and out of nowhere, our entire defense on the sideline just starts singing a show tune, and as loud as they possibly can, probably trying to wake up the neighborhood. And I look over, and they're all just cheesing from ear to ear. And again, it's stuff like that like, you can't even get mad at them for that, because again, they're enjoying the grind, they're enjoying the journey, and they're keeping it light, as well they should, because again, I know our kids well enough to know that to be loose for our kids, and in this case, singing a show tune on the sideline is definitely loose. But to be loose for them is exactly where they need to be. Because, again, I know for a fact that they're gamers, and they're going to flip that switch because they can, and they're going to show up Friday, and it's a business approach, and they're going to that's how they're going to play the game, and then they're going to get back on the bus and probably start singing show tunes again because that's what they do. So anyway, like I said, I could go on for stories for days with these kids. Just an awesome group of kids to be around, and every single day it's something new that they make me laugh about.
Well, that sure makes it fun for everybody. We are so excited about the game tonight. It's at Lincoln. Make sure you check it out. I believe Lincoln will be broadcasting. You'll have to Google that. We don't have that information today. But, Coach, good luck tonight. We are excited to be on this journey with you, and we'll tune in next week for the Coach Adkins Show. We'll see you next week.